I'm Steve Dickhouse, and this is Haus Talk, a podcast where we unpack what it's really like to live a life above average. Real people, real stories, real habits, real growth. See, every high performer has a story that's generally built upon faith, discipline, or courage. The courage to keep going even after life kicks you hard. If you're here, welcome.
Hey, welcome back to Haus Talk. I'm your host, Steve Dickhouse, where we get to sit down with other high performers and unpack their story and bring back some not only motivation for you guys, the viewers, but also hopefully some inspiration. Today, I've got really good business partners and friends joining the podcast with me today. I've got Kyle Hannegan and Zach Plackemeier. Known these guys for, going on 10 years almost, 10 years with you, Zach, and we've built a really cool community. We built a really cool community, not only with what we do professionally, but also personally now. And I'm excited to talk today a little bit about our 30 medium challenge that we do every single year. This is year 5. I can't even believe it. And get right into it, fellas. So
yeah,
welcome
dude, thanks
to
for
Haus
having
Talk.
us, man.
Yeah, man.
Let's go.
I've been liking, following along.
Last day of the year today.
Yeah.
Craziness.
December 31st.
Mm-hmm.
That one really flew by, you know.
Yeah, I feel like they always do, but this year in particular, I guess, just where we're at in life with the kiddos and everything, I think just amplifies it and speeds it up even more.
We're getting old.
I know, yeah, and excuse my ice here and everything. I'm nursing a sciatic issue, speaking of getting old, so I apologize if I look awkward on camera here.
Kyle's going to be standing up. And
I might have to stand up a few times, but wouldn't wish this on my worst enemy, but no place I'd rather be, so let's go.
Oh, good, man. Well, we've really been working on our before pictures over the last month or so for this 30 medium challenge that we got rolling up here. So
I have like a 2.5 pack, I think.
We're all looking kind of scrubbish, but all right. So the premise of this podcast is going to be around 30 medium, right? And we'll get into it, but basically it's a challenge that covers the month of January. Starts the year off on the right foot, gets you back dialed in, and this is going to be our 5th year doing it. So we'll get through the structure of 30 medium, but I've got questions for you guys, and you guys know I start the pod off with a question that gives the viewers, hey, what are they getting into? Just a gut-wrenching question here. So my question to you guys is this. Would you rather successfully complete 30 medium, or would you rather double your income in the month of January? Just the month of January.
Wow.
Successfully complete 30 medium, or
I'm taking the money.
You're taking
Oh, look at that. See, I mean,
I'm not surprised.
I didn't have to think about that, Zach. Look at that.
I mean,
all right, well
I'll do it again in February. You know, I'll take my money.
Well, that's a good point. I mean,
in
see?
February.
That's why I surround myself with smarter people.
It
That's
is
a great
tough,
answer.
though, man, because I do know, you know, we'll talk about 30 medium, but that first year, I did not hit it. And I told one of you guys, you know, I was like, man, that first weekend I was good. That second weekend came around, and some buddies were like, hey, you want to go grab a beer? I'm like, shit. You know.
Yes, I do.
And I felt bad, and I talked to you guys, and you guys were doing it, and you stuck to it. And I'm like, all right, well, next year I'm gonna do it. So now I take it more serious.
I'll take the money and do it in February.
See, there you go. 28 days. Oh, look, I didn't even think about that. See? Yeah. Oh, funny.
Damn, I didn't think about that. That's a good one. Kyle,
See,
what you got, man?
So I've always completed it, actually.
Yeah.
I know you guys
did. And I'm not rubbing that in. No, I'm just saying.
I think you should. I think we should rub that in.
I think we should rub that
part
in.
of
All
the
right, now we're
badge
rubbing
of
it in.
honor.
Sorry, Zach. Man, you know what? I'll say complete 30 medium. Just to have a different answer. Just because it's always good. Like, once you actually accomplish it.
No one's selling houses in January.
No one's selling houses in January.
Yeah.
Oh, say it's shit.
Yeah.
Maybe I should take the money.
I'd rather double it in January or February.
Well, we just know what's coming up. You know, all the things we do in December and January, even February, you know, kind of shows itself in the spring market for us doing real estate. Similar to your guys' industries, I'm sure, especially you, Steve. But yeah, I'd say complete it. Why not? It's always something to look forward to. Always something that kind of just sets the tone for the year. You know, now whether or not you go back to your normal habits in February, March, April, I think it always just kind of sets the tone and kind of sticks with you a little bit too throughout the year. So we'll go with that.
I think I would rather complete it too. I think that the motivation and the earned confidence that you get out of starting the year off with something hard would hopefully put the trajectory of the rest of your year to be financially more successful, and knowing that, okay, here's the milestone. I committed to something. I did not negotiate with myself. I did everything that I said I was going to do. I won. I took that win. I compounded it to another win. Now I've got some motivation, and now I'm rolling for the rest of the year. And I think that would ultimately yield a higher income for the rest of the year. Not to say that that's everything, but I mean, obviously we're all three businessmen. Financial success is very important to all of us, right? Like, it's something that we're, obviously striving for and have. So, but I didn't think that you could then do it again the next month.
See,
so I think I like that answer. That's somebody who passes their Series 7 on the first try.
There you go right there. Guy's a genius. See, he's a thinker.
I could get a new boat and do it.
Oh, wow. See?
No, I agree. I mean, it something about that sense of accomplishment, getting it done is weighs a lot. And again, that first year, you guys had you been doing it for a little while before I jumped in?
We just kind of
I think you might have done it 1 year before.
Maybe 1 year.
The first year, you guys kind of said, "Hey, you're in." I didn't really volunteer. So that was one thing. That's probably why I didn't hit it. I wasn't going in with the mindset. Yeah. But then after I saw you guys just, the way you were on the text thread holding each other accountable. Hey, did you get the workout in this morning? What'd you do? You need that. And we honestly used to do it with another couple of ours that, were athletes in college. And it's just this time of year where you got to get
dial
back together.
Yeah,
I think most people, it's like you go to a gym January 2nd, things packed,
Oh, yeah,
March 1st, it's empty, so
100%.
Who can stick it out? But I'm with you. It sets the tone for the year.
So 30 medium, I feel like the premise of this all started. Kyle and I were at the water cooler Monday after Monday, like, oh man, I just feel like shit. The weekend, I just drank it. I wasn't going to have a cocktail, then I had one, and then it was like, I got to get back in the gym. I got to, or like, dude, let's do a challenge. And it wasn't even January. You remember?
No, yeah, we did the first one like in May, I think.
Yeah,
it was like a May. It was like yes, it was
the end.
Correct.
No.
Or
Memorial Day
was the end.
Right into the summer.
And then we had to debate because we did 30 days, and technically that was the 31st, right?
Right.
So we're like, do we have to do that day, or can we drink?
Yeah. And we just were sitting there talking about how we wanted to change, honestly, right? Mm-hmm. Like, we were like, dude, we just got to get out of this rut. And so, obviously, 75 hards out there, but that time allocation, energy, effort into 2 a day, 1 outside, wasn't realistic. Like, just for me, at least. It's just not a realistic thing with 3 kids to work out twice a day, get a workout outside, and stay that way for 75 days.
Yeah. And there's plenty of people that are in our shoes that do it, and more power to them, right?
100%.
But that's just not what we're, we set our own deal, and that's where we're going.
Yeah.
So,
So we changed it to 30 medium. Instead of 75 hard, to me, this is a realistic, sustainable, yet challenging, and it is hard. It's not an easy thing to do. I mean, Andy's not going to think it's hard. Dude's done 75 hard for how many times, right? He's got the book and everything out there with it. And I know some people, we probably all do, that have done 75 hard, and again, more power to them. I don't know if you have 3 kids. That's my second workout every day, right? Like, you got 3, you got 2, you got, a full practice business, all 3 of us, right?
Well, I think the other thing is, like, when I thought about, and we'll talk about the time when I started 75 hard too.
Oh my gosh, that is great. I
can't
wait. All right.
Just 75
well,
hours
to hit that story, so
75 hours of hard, is that what it was?
No, it was like 10. It was a Monday morning, and I was like,
gosh.
I'm trying 75 hard. Me and my wife kind of said we were going to do it. Didn't.
Oh my god.
And that was, man, probably 7 years ago. And Steve and I were just kind of connecting. He's in this mortgage world. I'm insurance. Trying to build a little relationship. Now we've obviously become good friends. But I roll up to a golf tournament. He's waiting with fireball shots. And
I'll never forget.
8 a.m. 80.
It was
Crown Apple. Yeah,
it was a Crown Apple
okay.
at Innsbruck, wasn't it?
At
Weren't we at
8
Innsbruck?
a.m. on a Monday. On the morning, I started
8 a.m. on
75
a
hard,
Monday.
and I just folded. Hey, props to you that you just did it like a champ. I was like, hey, there's always tomorrow. And then I did,
right?
and then I disclosed you guys later at the bar.
Yeah.
You know, like,
yeah.
hey,
I was doing 75 hard.
Oh my god, that was classic.
No, you weren't.
No,
Yeah.
not anymore.
Yeah. No, that was good. Though. But no, I think back to the the 75 hard and the kids. You know, I think looking at what I want to do personally next year, it's like I want to continue to build better relationships with my kids and my wife. And you know, when you look at 75 hard, I think sometimes like you're taking time away. Something's got to give for you to be able to do that.
No, that's a really good point. Probably
the two workouts, 45 minutes each. You get one in the morning, and I think there's a rule in 75 hard that they got to be like
at least
far.
3 hours
So far
apart or
apart.
something. And
so, you're doing one after dinner. I guess you could argue you can do it when the kids go down, but my kids stay up till 9:30. I can't be doing that at 10, get 2 hours of sleep, wake up, feel terrible.
right? Not
So,
only is it a commitment for the person doing it.
all excuses, and I totally get that, but I just think where we want to be relationship wise too, this all makes sense.
No, that makes sense.
So why don't you get the rules out of 30
Yeah,
million?
and respect anybody who does the 75 hard.
100%.
Got nothing but respect for you guys on that. I like this because it's achievable. I like this because it's something, everything you guys were saying. So rules are this: 30 days, 30 medium, no alcohol, a gallon of water, 10 pages non-fictional, 500 calorie burn workout every day, and you got to pick a diet.
Yep.
So diet can be simple. I do no soda, no fast food. Everything else. Honestly, one of the hardest things is the gallon of water.
For me, that's the easiest, dude. I just pound water all day.
Oh, yeah. Especially if you just wake up and like hit 20 ounces, 30 ounces right off the bat. I mean, you're almost a third of the way there. So, but no, I get it though. Like just making sure you're.
Yeah, your bathroom check every.
Oh yeah, no, you're.
First
right.
couple
No,
days,
100%.
I'm like trying to figure it out, and then you get to the end of the day, and you're like, oh shit, I didn't get my gallon in.
Yeah,
you got to chug before the end of the night, and then
pissing at 1 a.m.
Now you're waking up in the middle of the night and hitting the bathroom.
I do that anyway now. Just talking about getting old, so it's routine.
Yeah,
but yeah.
But I mean, with the way that this has gone over the past years, bringing us all three full circle, it's been also expanding outside of us too.
Correct.
Yeah. And I would challenge anyone that has a group that's trying to get back on, whatever their fitness, whatever they are trying to do in the new year. That get a little group. You're already everyone's already in a million, little group chats. Find those that are in the same boat, because that really helps. Like I think if you were doing this on your own and we're not texting each other, each day checking in on each other, it'd be,
and it's just not as fun. Yeah, the accountability obviously helps, but it's just not as fun when you do it by yourself, in my opinion. When you have a group of people, whatever, going through the same thing, that always helps quite a bit too. And dry January, doing whatever, I mean, that's always great too for people. But I feel like adding some of these other items in there, some of the more just I don't know, just kind of helps with the overall mental aspect of it too, and just propels you into.
And I like the workout, the 500 calorie deal, because you could do a 45-minute workout and it not be hard.
Correct.
And I think that's what a lot of people do in the other
on the
deal.
75.
They just walk
for the second workout,
which is great.
Which is great too, but that's why we kind of made it hard, because if we're not going to do 2 workouts, let's make it at least
one
challenging workout. Because 500 calories, I mean, that's a good little.
Change.
It's not chump change.
You got to be intentional down there.
Yeah.
You got to check it off the box.
Yeah.
What do you guys think's the hardest part about it? 30 medium is.
I think no alcohol.
No alcohol.
Even like, I don't want to say that like I'm drinking all the time.
I know. I was going to say
I
a caveat too,
but I already know, like you're going on that duck hunting trip.
Yeah, which we're gonna have to talk about. That's gonna be tough. But
I got 2 galas, like basically wedding receptions that you got to be at.
Playoff football.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You you always want to watch some playoff football and have a bevy, and if your team's there and you're going to a game or something.
Yeah.
I would.
I think that's the hardest, and then.
And again, not to say that any of us are
smashing 10 beers a day or anything like that. But it's the social aspect, having 3 or 4, whatever, just out and about.
Normal.
Or a glass of wine with dinner.
Yeah. Towards the end, it gets a little easier though.
I would agree.
Like I would feel like the first event you go to, it's hard. Yeah. And then once you get past the first event, you're like, oh, dude, I'm cruise control.
Correct.
Now.
Once you have one of them, and the first week is always easy for me just because it's exciting. You're starting off, you're feeling good. And it's always like the second, third week in the middle of it that's kind of more challenging.
We're finally to that age too, where people, when you say, hey, I'm not drinking, people don't like try to shove it down.
Exactly. Oh, yeah.
They're like, oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, there's more and more people out there like that.
Right.
And there's a lot of people that just don't drink. I know so many people now that or just hardly drink or, drink.
So that helps,
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it'd be good, man. I need to get back on track.
So, how did it feel whenever you didn't complete it the one time?
Like I said, I
did you know you weren't gonna do it, or did you?
No. I just don't think I was taking it as serious. Yeah. I think I was like, oh, these guys are probably doing their thing too, blah blah blah, and then And
now we know.
Yeah.
Again, that was 5 years ago. I think I've successfully completed 4.
All right. How do you feel when you do it?
Great.
When you complete it, like.
At this point, I just expect to do it, to be honest with you, but it always feels good to accomplish it. And then usually in my head, I'm like, I can go, maybe not keep doing this sustainably, especially with a 500-calorie workout every single day, but the drinking doesn't bother me as much, honestly. At some point, I'm like, I could go another month without drinking.
Yeah, you've always said that.
I always do. Yeah. And then I always go back to drinking, of course. Yeah. Just because, when you're hanging out with the boys, you're golfing, you're doing whatever, it's fun to have a few cocktails, right? But, it just goes to show you that you can do it,
Yeah.
You're not strong-armed to have to drink, and you can still have fun and go out and do things, sober, if you will.
Yeah, to redial back in that discipline, too, of, the successful, hey, I'm, again, not negotiating. Like, this is what I'm doing. And I always find it funny because we'll share the rules with people, and a lot of times people will try to bend them.
Correct.
To make them work for them.
Mm-hmm.
And I let them know when they tell me that. I was like, that's great, but you don't get it. Like, this is the non-negotiable part. Yeah. This is what it is. This it's not, okay, I'll do all of that but the gallon of water.
Yeah.
You're not a part of this then.
Yeah.
Like this.
Go for one, that's good, but it's not.
These, what is it, 5 things? These are these 5 things.
Yeah.
Or, no, I like to read, but I'm going to read my fiction book.
Harry Potter.
Yeah, right? Like, okay,
Harry
great,
Potter.
but that's not this, right?
Yeah.
And I think that some of these principles, a lot of these principles, the working out, the learning, the education and literature, those are a lot of the principles that have been foundational for success on how I've grown in practice in business and come through the career to have success.
Yeah.
Like, would you guys agree that physical aligning with that mental health and having that all dialed in, and then
100%.
A lot of self-educating books. Like, we toss around books all the time together, right?
Yeah.
Like, in high school, you couldn't tell me I was going to read books through my 35.
I've read more books in the last
you know what I mean?
year or two than I've read in my entire life, probably. Well, the last 5 or so years,
Same. Same.
But yeah, I think that's huge, just because if you're not constantly learning, what are you doing? You're either going forward or you're going backwards, right? You're never kind of staying still. Yeah. So constantly educating yourself, especially in our industries, I think is huge.
Yeah.
And staying motivated and staying ahead of trends and all that good stuff.
And I went through, when we finished building that house, man, I went through probably 2 months of like no legit workout. And I felt terrible just because like we're moving in, the gym, our gym equipment wasn't all kind of set up, but we were kind of out in the country a little bit. So wasn't going to F45 anymore. And that, mentally for me, it's a big deal.
Correct.
Like if I get a big meeting or something, if I don't get my morning workout in, like I'm not as sharp.
You're not in flow.
That's a very good point, honestly, because I'm the same way. Like, workouts do more for me mentally than even physically.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's good for like longevity. You want to be able to pick up your kids, wrestle around, when you're 60 years old, run 3 miles, whatever you want to do. But it's like that mental aspect is absolutely
100%.
huge.
Yeah, it's
100%.
I mean, for me, it's like the people would equivalent the morning cup of coffee.
Oh.
Right? Like it's something that if I don't do, I get anxious on, and I don't feel like I have really even started my day until the sweat gets
you
broken
started
in.
as because I think even without this challenge, we all are trying to work out every morning. It's kind of
we always
our goal.
Yeah.
But when you don't, you kind of started your day as a failure.
Well, dude, that's what you get that first win. You check
Yeah.
that first box, and that's what being early risers, which I know we always are too. And I learned that from my dad. My dad's always gotten up at 5 a.m. minimum, but beating the sun up is weird to me. Now, obviously, depending on the time of year, but anytime I beat the sun up, I always think I win. It's bizarre. It can be on the weekend, whatever, but that's my first win. And then the gym, then whatever you do. So
I think the timing of the year is really critical too, because here we are, December 31st, last day of the year. I don't know about you guys, but I've had a cookie every single day for a month now, it feels like. You know what I mean? It's been one of those things that's just been like, I'm joking with you guys, like we literally are working on our before pictures. And I'll take one.
Yeah.
I'll take one tomorrow morning.
my
I'll
gosh.
take one. I'll try and get it all in today. I'll check every box, but then also just knowing that is kind of like a earned piece of what it is that I don't feel bad. Like I kind of you kind of indulge a little bit.
You can indulge because it's
and we know this is coming.
correct.
We know. Okay, hey,
Getting back
I'm
on.
gonna go in for that piece of pumpkin. I'm gonna go in for that extra piece of pie or ice
and
cream or
you
whatever.
start looking forward to this
and you
reset.
remember that, and you're
Yeah.
like, no, I'm not doing X, Y, and Z because I remember I already had mine. I already did mine. Like it's time. It's almost like a debt motivation.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
I'm putting myself.
that's a good way to see. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm excited for it. I'm excited to have a 5-year span. I share it with my team. A lot of my team members jump on board with us, and we get a group message going with them.
That's cool.
Culturally, it just establishes, I feel like, a lot of things that we want to be, a lot of characteristic traits that we want to be in the industry and as team members. My mom's jumped on it, and she doesn't drink, so she gave up coffee one year, which was like her beverage of choice, My brother, my neighbors, a couple other guys that just kind of jump on. So it's been cool to
See it
to expand
blossom,
it out,
yeah.
and tell the
That is
story.
really cool. I'm gonna get
100%.
my team on it this year, maybe.
Should
We'll see. We'll see if Dana can lay down the wine here, but
Yeah. So I'll circle back with just kind of some of our 2025 and just some questions for you guys on how 2025 went for you. My favorite question that I want to ask you guys, or the one that I think is going to be something to reflect on, is did you guys feel like you hit peak performance this year in 2025?
Peak, no.
Well, let's do this. What is peak performance?
it's a great question.
And then we can say, do we think we hit it? I think peak performance, mentally, physically, alignment, best version of yourself in both.
Yeah.
And I think you could have peaked in mental, you could have peaked in physical, you could have peaked in business, you could have peaked in relationship, you could have peaked in coaching, whatever it is. But do you think that you had a point where maybe you were at a peak in 2025?
No, I don't. Just because we're just constantly working on ourselves. I feel like in the business, a few big steps we took this year were kind of building out more of an organization. As we've scaled this thing, we'll be 10 years tomorrow.
Oh, wow.
Since we opened
Congrats.
our
Happy
agency.
early anniversary.
So that small, I don't know, were you ever in the first office I opened in Florissant?
No, I
It was
never
kind
went
of
up,
in
but I
a
knew about it.
rundown strip center at the end of,
Strip mall.
Yeah, strip mall at the end of like New Halls Ferry. It was me. I took over the service person that was with the previous agent, and then my brother-in-law and a high school buddy, and that was kind of it. And we were just in there, just shotgun style, just trying to grow it. And now we're 17 total employees, and so we've grown a lot, but the organization's grown a lot around it. So like what I'm heading to from a peak level is really empowering team, departmentalizing, job duties in the office, building out management roles. So we're working a lot towards that, and we took strides to it. We hired like an agency manager and things, but I just know there's growth there, so I can't say I hit peak, and then same thing, I've tried to kind of step away a little bit more, focus on family and relationships and my, mental health, myself, and I've done things there that were better than 2023, 24, but I just know there's room for growth,
What are some of the things that you did for like the mental side or the relationship side?
I just actually took some time.
Yeah.
I actually just took some time. I feel like years before, like if we set a goal and we were short of it, like I was going to hit it, whether, everyone was coming along or not, I was going to do everything I could to hit it. And now we've just we've always had the pieces, but we've made sure the right pieces of the puzzle in the right seats. And now we're just kind of all working together as a team to hit it. And it's just giving me a little bit of relief to kind of, be able to say, hey, I didn't get up at 5 a.m., but I got up at 7, but I still need to get that workout in. So I'm going to get it in and be in the office by 9:30 instead of 8 a.m. So just prioritizing some of that stuff for myself, I think is what I did a little
That's
bit.
huge. Sometimes you have to do that. You can't beat yourself up, like, hey, my goal is to wake up at 5 a.m. every single day, but sometimes you just need a day off, or to sleep in. And it's nice that you've been able to build with the people that you have, putting them in the right seats so you don't have to feel bad. And maybe you can take, come in the office 3 hours later or whatever, and things are still getting done, which is huge.
Yeah, the systems.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But, I think it's just tough to say peak.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big, because that's the highest it goes, right?
Yeah.
What about you?
I would definitely say I didn't hit my team, professionally or personally. Definitely didn't hit any peak moments in 2025. It was kind of a hard year in the sense, business was good. We definitely need to work on some of our systems. We have a small but mighty team. Mm-hmm. Crank out a lot of, we help a lot of families, which we're fortunate to do. But, we probably need to grow by at least 2 people sooner than later, just to kind of take some of the responsibilities off some of my key members. Because real estate's kind of tough, right? It's a lot of driving around, If you go show 3 or 4 houses, sometimes that can take 4 hours depending on the day, and having Dana and Megan running around quite a bit, sometimes myself, and then Brittany being in charge of, just all the contracts, the marketing and everything. It becomes a lot. We do it, and they all do it well. But I feel like we definitely need to take that step and hire some more people. And then just personally, kind of what Zach was saying too, is I do tend to wake up early, get the stuff done that I need to do, but I think I need to be a little bit more focused this year. And I actually want to say yes more in 2026.
Yeah.
I feel like I said no a lot, which kind of was always my goal, to protect your time. But kind of what you mentioned too is like I want to develop better relationships with friends and everything too. I kind of feel like I've let that go the last couple of years, just working and spending a lot of time obviously with our family, which is great because you don't get that time back with your kiddos. But I may have almost done too much, if that makes sense. That sounds maybe not the way I want it to come off, but it's like I have more in the tank to give to like buddies and doing other stuff too, and getting out there a little bit too.
Yeah.
But I'm excited for this year though. This coming year, I think it's going to be a great year in all of our industries. I think we're I'm excited for the 30 medium to kickstart it too. So
I am too. I think that it peak is just such a hard, because it's you're always trying to improve that version of yourself and better yourself, and as soon as you don't, then you're dying, right, or you're going backwards. So it's a hard question to answer, and it's a hard philosophy, I guess, to conceptualize too, to be like, okay, peak. Well, I did really good, did some things really great, and they were the best that I've done, but I still got more. I just did a podcast with Nick Perler and just actually listened to it. And one of the things that he said is, behind mountains are more mountains. It's like, so you go to the mountain peak, the top of the peak. Okay, I'm there. oh, I didn't know that mountain's over there and that mountain's over there, and I got to climb that peak over there, and I got to get to that peak over there. So it's hard because you know, I feel like we also wrestle a certain type of aggression and growth and self-improvement with contentment and being present and being where your feet are at right now, and living in what, you know, you've already done, and being happy with that. So I love the question because you can dissect it and you can answer it in so many different ways. And I think that physically I did not peak. I had what I feel like I could do a lot better nutrition wise. My elbow was messed up all year this year, literally all year this year. But I think that there was a time, and I'll share a story, where I peaked with what I felt was one of my peak moments with my family this year. And it was really special. And it was when we went on vacation. And yeah,
I saw that.
Yeah. And it was one of those times that, like, I genuinely, for the first time, phone on Do Not Disturb for like 5, 6, 7 days. Like, it did not check in on business. I did not come back. I did not get involved on things where I knew I should. Well, I felt like I could, you know, and in most other times since starting in mortgage, right, you're speed to respond. That's a currency in our industry, 100%. Right? So it's like, I was like, you know what? No. And what that allowed me to do is get into dad, husband flow state. And I think about, you know, in sales, a lot of times you want to, when you're doing an action, you want to get in flow, right? Like, we get coached to get in flow. You coach your team members to get in flow. You talk about, you know, going through and making sure when you're in flow, it takes like 15 minutes, maybe even to get into that state. And I felt like I was able to do that with the family.
Yeah, because I remember what did you do? You just didn't you block out some time with each one of them individually, or? Yeah, well, you know, I had one-on-one time with all of them. I had one-on-one time without Ember. I had one-on-one time with just each one of the girls, and we were actually in Mexico, so it was, you know, it was a family vacation. Everything else was off. Everything else was done. But then one of the realizations that I had out of it was, I journaled. Like, I journaled some goals. I journaled some goals that weren't just associated with, you know, what do I want to do with the business, but were associated with the, you know, I wrote down how old Stevie is. I wrote down how old Elsie is. I wrote down how old Millie is. So they're 8, 6, and 3, right? And I looked at a 3-year goal, looked at a 5-year goal, looked at a 10-year goal, and then I marked down what age what each one of them will be when they're, you know, 3, 5, 10 years from now. Mm-hmm. And I was already in that kind of flow, if you will, with them, and like that appreciation of just being with them. And I've never had that before. It was great. Yeah, that's awesome. So, but yeah, no, man, I think that's huge. In like, you hear everyone that has kids, you know, every time they see your kids, pictures of them, they say, cherish every moment, you know, because they're going to grow up quick. And you hear it and you understand it, but it's tough to day in and day out live it. Yeah. You know, well, I don't know about you, you know, I come home exhausted. Yeah. And then they, you know, they just want their dad. They just want that time, you know, and it's tough to be able to put everything to the side and just, you know, be consistent with that. And that's something I need to be better at, you know. But I've seen you do a few things, and Emily always points it out too. She's like, man, Steve's killing it. You know what, man? That is peak state. I mean, you're right. You hit peak. Now it's like, how long can you keep peak? You know, like, do you get back from the vacation and then all of a sudden, you know, it's like, you know, that's a thing. You know, I think it's with all this stuff, especially when you put it on paper, it gives you something to be able to go back to look at and be like, hey, you know, this is where I need to kind of, I've lost track here. You know, when's the last time I went and we've always probably done business goals, right? Like, I've always had a units, a volume, how many people I want to help this year, you know, the metrics on the business. And
and this year a shift. And I've Ember and I we've done personal goals and stuff like that for the house, but more so writing down, okay, here's what we want to do with time with the girls. Here's what I want to do with, we're actually going to Innsbruck Friday, and we're literally going to have goal family. Hey, what are we doing this year? Yeah, and we're gonna get through that. Like the date night, kids are going to my mom's, and I'm like, hey, I'm bringing out my Google Drive docs, and I'm hey, where do we want to go this year? Do we want to spend X amount of time here? Do we want to go here this year? Do we want a vacation here? And then what do we want to do with soccer? What do we want to do with wrestling? What do we want to do with gymnastics, cheerleading, all these things? And how do we want our family to look in 26? Yeah. And how do we want our marriage to look in 26? Yeah. And that's a shift. I didn't always do that. I didn't always, review those things. And I think that was a peak moment for me. You know what I mean? I didn't always have that perspective on it.
Dude, that's an aha moment for me, honestly, because I feel like if you don't be intentional with those things, it just, life happens, Yeah. And then you have in your mind maybe what you want to have done, with your family, your wife, your kids, or whatever. But putting it on paper and having like a plan of action and a true want for something, I think is huge. And I mean, that hit me. You told me about that a few months ago when you wrote down the goals of like how old your kids are going to be in 5 years, 3 years, whatever it was. I'm like, that's what always gets me is like these kids grow up so freaking quick, and it's like, holy shit.
If you have kids and you haven't done that, just do it. Get your mind right, get in a state, write down your age, write down 3-5 years, write down your kids 3-5 years, and just start writing. Yeah. Just start journaling. Just, hey, what am I grateful for? When do I know I'm successful? What do I want to be remembered for?
Yeah,
Take
I'm thinking about
hours. Do it one day, come back, do it again.
Yeah,
dude, it's special.
Yeah, just taking the time to do that's huge.
Yeah. And then I think that through that you find a lot of gratitude too. And having that and living in the moments that you have done some of the things that you put forward for yourself too, and checking some of those boxes. So poor Kyle's back's got.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry, guys. I have a sciatic issue going on, and it is.
Issue.
I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy, honestly. But I'm sorry I have to stand up a ways. I don't want to.
What is going to be your workout? In 30
well, that's something I guess we have to talk about. I mean, running's definitely out of the question. A lot of squatting's out of the question.
You're going to be that guy on that one cardio machine that just does.
Well, dude, I don't know. So I started physical therapy, which I hate to say too, but
Airdyne bike, maybe your arms? Could you do that?
I guess I could. I could go to the gym and maybe just. Yeah, maybe. I'll see what the therapist says on
what's
Monday.
going to be the hardest is to burn 500 calories.
That's going to be the hardest part.
Like
100%.
You'd be able to do yoga or something, but
dude, that'll be a challenge.
It just might be a 3-hour workout.
I know. I might just have to do an hour and a half workout. But
I think I hate going back on the non-negotiating part of this, but I think an injury, you result in maybe instead of a 500, maybe you do a time.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that, and and whatever I can't do, I'll make up in February too. But yeah, definitely a buzzkill, man. I never in my wildest dreams thought I would be dealing with something like this, to be honest. Now, life could be way worse too. Don't get me wrong, but not being able to sit for more than 20 minutes, hence why I'm standing. Yeah. Dude, just not being able to do.
You showed up today, though, bro.
I did. I wasn't gonna miss this. I wasn't gonna miss this, and it was a rough morning.
He did. Kudos, man.
No, I appreciate that, but dude, just the little things you take for granted, like sitting back, relaxing, watching TV. I mean, lifting your daughter up or your kiddo up. It's like, man, it sucks for the last month almost. But
can you sleep?
Sleeping's tough. I sleep on my stomach, kind of prone, and I'll pass out pretty good, but generally wake up at 1 or 2, and it's rough. But again, could be worse, right? I mean, we'll get through it.
We're talking about peaks. This is probably one of your valleys of the year.
Yeah, so I mean, maybe it's a blessing. Bottom. You have to deal with this shit, come out on the other side, and everything else will be a little bit better. But dead serious, I wouldn't wish this on my worst enemy. Honestly, brutal. I would not. Brutal. But I know you're going through some elbow stuff. Zach, you're healthy, right? You feeling good?
Feel good right now.
Zach can dunk a basketball right now.
I look like Gumby, like I need to get in the weight room, but I feel good. I feel good.
What's a valley moment for you guys this past year? What was an adverse situation?
If I can go first, the last month of my life. No, but but right, man. Sorry, not to take away, but yeah.
No,
that's all.
I gotta think.
Just with the sciatic issue out of nowhere, and then got the cold right around the holidays. our pup recently passed away just randomly, and it's just, man, it's just kind of, again, life could always be worse, and I'm thankful for everything we have. We had a great Christmas, all that, but it's just a lot the last 3 weeks, honestly. Not being able to do what you want to do, physically and emotionally, it kind of takes a toll, honestly, too. It's just getting up, knowing that you can't help out the kiddos, your wife, with Christmas decor, all that shit. I mean, she was kind of lifting the trees. I'm like, God bless, but at the same time, I don't want to push it to make it even worse because I think that's why I'm here.
Yeah.
I think I went too hard, knowing I probably should have slowed down a little bit, but that was my answer, though. Sorry, Zach. Go ahead. If you have a...
No, I mean, we had a short stint in our St. Peter's office where we were just a little understaffed, didn't have the right people in there, so that was just the only thing I can really think of that was a valley. We had a little rough patch there where putting a lot of extra pressure on the existing team to kind of shift people around to make things happen. But hired some new folks that are great, so
I mean, that's the best valley to have, isn't it?
Yeah, it's kind of one of those things where it's like, man, it's tough. It's going to be tough whenever you lose anyone, but
you lost somebody.
Yeah.
Okay.
Gotcha. Yeah. And then but once you get through it, it's all in my experience, it's always been better, especially if you take the right time. One thing I've tried to do in my business is really put the time into the recruiting, we used to just kind of aim, shooting, and hire, whereas now we're really, I mean, I think we just did 4 interviews on someone. And in the past, like I've hired someone off just like a phone interview, team morale is huge for us. Like the entire team needs to kind of mesh with that person. Otherwise they're not going to, be on our team. Yeah. But we're just making a really, strong effort at making sure we find the right person. It's always tough, right? Some people can interview well and you're like, oh man, this is going to be great. Right. And then it just doesn't work out. But we're doing everything we can to try to make sure we're putting time into that, just so we don't deal with those issues.
Yeah.
I get that. Hire slow, fire fast, right?
Yeah.
What they say, but just taking your time. I get it because I've been caught doing the same stuff before. You think it's a great fit or they interview real well. I know, Steve,
Same.
Or you want it to work out so bad, but it's inevitable that it's just not going to.
Well, and it's just the worst thing in the world, firing someone, to be honest. I mean, no matter what, it's like, you invested in that person, you brought them either from another job or wherever, so they're all in on the whole deal. So we've just really tried to like be firm lately on expectations up front, just so we're on the same page. And actually we had a good candidate that we were going to offer, that I think it kind of scared him off and he didn't accept the role, just because we're like, hey, this is kind of a 90-day, trial run, but here's what it looks like once you're through that. And the only reason it's 90 days is just because we'll know early enough if this is going to be the right fit for you and us, right? Just as much on that sales side, it's just as much a deal for them as it is us, right? I don't want anyone in that role that's not making, the amount of money or being as happy as I promised them at the, during the interview process, right? So that part, is for them and their family. And then for us, we have the expectations of what we need based on, kind of the comp plan that we have laid out. So we're just trying to be very clear with that, kind of get it on paper and track it along those first 90 days. That way, if we have any issues, it's kind of, hey, we talked about this, here's where we need things to be. And, I don't know. You've dealt a little. You said you just talked about that.
No, it is hard. You got to do your due diligence on it. And I just talked on another podcast where I fired somebody, and I used a reference, and it's like as soon as if you were going down the trail and you were being followed by a rattlesnake, you wouldn't continue to be followed by a rattlesnake. You'd take your pistol out and shoot it, and you'd be done with the rattlesnake following you, right? Just use that metaphor. And with the hiring process, I've aimed, shoot, and hired too. I've gone down that road, and I think that with where we're all at with our teams is we aren't, big corporate organizations. Like individually, we're all kind of like little franchises, right?
That's the key.
And I've got a team of 10. You got 17?
17.
You got 17. You got
I only have 4.
4, but
small but mighty. So yeah, which has its own nuance to it too, because we're obviously small, tight, which has its complexity. We've had we've had some other people, in roles here and there that just didn't work out, or
but
life happens.
I feel like my magic wand situation with my team dynamic is some hard workers, like to have fun, and just culturally are living in the gain of life and not this gap of negativity, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, I always, even if I'm talking to somebody sales wise, I'm like, listen, if you know how to work hard and you do what's right, those two things, like, and I can trust you on those two things, like a lot of times we can take care of the rest of what needs to happen. And I think it's so important when you have, a smaller team, you're not a 100 plus 200, 500 plus, company where, so-and-so may never talk to so-and-so. It's everybody's, this is the definition of a work family. Like, you guys do your holiday party, you guys do your Christmas, we all do a Christmas party. We all bring the spouses in. We all, belly up and have the relationships that aren't just about work. And when you have that, it is really important because you look at their household income almost as if it's yours too. Like you feel that responsibility.
Yes, a lot of responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then on the small team atmosphere side of things, it's like ultra important to get the right people in the right seats. Because for me, we're at 16, 17, but it's kind of capacity right now. Like just from a seating standpoint, we could do the remote deal and we do a little bit of that, but it just makes each seat super important, Mm-hmm. So you can't have one down here and 3 up here, If one's down here, unfortunately you need to figure out how to get them up to the others, or find someone that can jump in that seat, because it's just that important.
Yeah.
Now I've been a big believer in a lot of people in our industry are always like, man, how do you keep so many people around long? Like how do you get people to stay with you? I just try, I always try to work it out with people from if I hired you, I believed in you in that interview, right? So if I gave you that yes, it's kind of my obligation to try to do everything I can to get you to the level I need you to be. Mm-hmm. So I've had people that it's like every other agent in the area would have fired them like 6 months in, but I stuck it out with them, and then they ended up being superstars. So that's always in the back of my mind too, but you gotta be meeting with them and figuring out, are they willing to at least make the effort that you need to get them here?
Yeah.
If they're making the effort, then it's tough to kind of, fault people. But, I think it's just important to make sure everyone's in the right chair.
Well, we all know each other from industry, right?
Sure.
And mortgage, real estate, insurance. And I don't think we'd be doing the podcast justice if we didn't all just talk a little bit about maybe what we're expecting out of our industry in 2026 and kind of doing some market forecasting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't mind.
Yeah, I can. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. I think one of the biggest things that I'm circling is our Fed chairman, Jerome Powell, getting the boot. His term's up May 15th, I think is the date. And, our current president has been the president elects the next chairman.
So they do elect him.
So they choose the next Fed.
No vote of anyone other than the president.
Yeah, Trump's going to pick him.
Okay.
Right. So he's been very vocal about what he wants these interest rates to do. And obviously the Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell has been very resistant on getting these rates down. So I think Trump's going to get somebody in there that's going to be more aligned with his, his mindset on what interest rates are going to do and what he wants them to do and going down. And I think that that's going to be a big part of what we feel in the mortgage industry and real estate industry next year, because I think we're going to ultimately continue to drop, and interest rate is going to continue to go down, which is going to help us out with some affordability. And I think a lot of the current homeowners are locked, if you will, on their current interest rate and not moving. Yeah. They might have bought something in 2020 that they outgrew 2 years ago and are at a 2.5%, 3.5% interest rate and just too scared for a 6-7% interest rate right now. And I think that these rates continue to go down. If we can get something normalized in the 5s, I think we're just going to open up a lot of buying competition.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. Now, do you foresee something like that? I know you don't have a crystal ball, but I mean, do you feel like they might get to that point? And do you think that would be healthy too?
Yeah, I think that inflation has really cooled down. The Fed's target of inflation is 2%. We're at like 2.7 right now or something. We're below 3 for the first time in a while, which is really good in comparison. I mean, I think at one point we were at 7% or something, 6.5%.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Which was crazy. So we've steadily come down. I think that the concern around inflation was what potential impact the tariffs would have. And at least as of yet, they haven't been as significant as anybody thought would be on the cost of goods.
Yeah.
So that's been something that I think the feds have kind of leveraged to delay cutting, is the tariff inflation impact. But I think that, overall, you're going to continue to see a drop in the inflation, which is going to continue to drop interest rates, which also some extra underlying motivation of a new chairman. Mm-hmm. We'll probably figure out who it's going to be in the next 2 to 3 weeks or so.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. Supposedly he's got them decided on, and everybody's got their theories on who
so is that decision already configured into the mortgage rates and everything that you think is?
I think when he makes the announcement, of who it is going to be, I think we'll start to see some relief and some improvement pretty quickly.
Okay.
I do. So I think that you're probably going to be looking at a normalized interest rate, maybe 5.5-ish to low 6s, just depending credit profile, timing of year, et cetera.
Right.
I think we're probably going to feel that sometime in 26. And I think that we're going to open up some buying pool. I think we're going to open up some inventory. I don't think we're going to open up too much inventory, because I think the demand's still going to outpace what comes. So there's a theory, or there's a thought that rates are going to go down and there's going to be a flood of inventory. Everybody can pick up on all this inventory because all these people who are rate locked on their house are now going to list. I think the demand is still going to outpace what that's going to be, because those people are still.
So many people are on the fence. Yeah, they've been
and they're still new. The birth death models are still outpacing what we have built right now and existing and ready. So
yeah, I mean, the amount of people I talk to that's what they say. Hey, we want to move, but we're locked in just because of what interest rates are right now. And I'm not even, in your industry. I mean, how many people do you talk to that are like, hey, once interest rates move, we're ready to
a lot of people.
I think there's just going to be this pent up demand.
Yeah.
That, and I bet it'll be a slow climb down. I think that would be the healthiest
like
way.
Paint dry. It's not
correct.
Yeah. 0.5% overnight.
That's going to be the healthiest way, because I think you're going to have these people that slowly get off the couch and are ready to kind of move.
Oh, I 100% agree. We saw what happened in COVID when they dropped the rates like overnight. It seemed, and that was just that was borderline insanity. I mean, borderline. It was insanity. I mean, living through it as a real estate professional, my team. I mean, you can only write 7, 8, 20 offers for one client so many times. I mean, it was just absolutely bananas. And it was so hard to tell people, depending on what price point, what area you're looking at, like, hey, to be competitive, we have to go $75,000 over list price here because you want this 3-bed, 2-bathroom house with a 1-car garage in Webster Groves, something like that. So it's been, that was a wild ride for sure. So I hope we get small incremental changes instead of one big change right off the bat, because I think that would
black swan events, right? Like you never see a black swan, as they say. If it, COVID was a black swan, right? I think so. So take out any of that. Hopefully that's what we see. How do you think that on your end that all ties in?
Yeah. So I think you hit it right on the head. I would agree with you 100% in terms of what you said about the real estate market coming up in 2026. But looking back a little bit, I think 2025 was a pretty interesting year. Some of the houses flew off the market here in the St. Louis area. A few of them didn't sell for whatever reason. We saw the days on market tick up quite a bit. Inventory spiked up a tad bit, about 0.5%. But overall, it was a normal, sustainable, a more normalized market than what we've seen in years past. Now, were there still multiple offers on properties? Absolutely. Is that sub $400,000 market extremely, aggressive? Is it very competitive? 100%. I think in 2026, depending on what we see in terms of interest rates, I think it's going to be a competitive market. I think the springtime is going to be a little wild depending on the weather and all that. Come late February, I think there's a lot of pent-up potential buyers that were on the fence that are still waiting. Again, you guys mentioned it too, some of the conversations you both have had. I think it's going to be an overall healthy market. I think it's going to be a little bit more normalized again compared to years prior.
Yeah.
But I still think we're going to see some of those competitive aspects too, and I think it's going to be very imperative that sellers price their homes accordingly as well. It's not going to be a market where, hey, my house is pretty decent, I'm going to put this astronomical price on it and hopefully it sells, because I think the buyers have already been through enough in the last 5+ years now of getting beat up. They're willing to pay top dollar for a house as long as it's priced accordingly for what it has to offer in the desirable location.
Yeah.
But I think overall it's going to be a competitive market, but I don't think it's going to be as crazy as it has been in years prior.
Yeah.
I like to use the word dual. I think we're going to continue to be in a dual market, and I'm here for a normal market. And a dual market to me is kind of hitting on what you said on sub 400, pretty competitive. Probably the upper luxury market, you might have a little bit more leverage. Right?
Yeah.
As a buyer.
Correct. And sometimes we feel it. It's kind of sticky in that like 5 to like 800, we'll just say in general. Not like the ultra luxury, but the higher ish price point. That seems to be kind of the harder market because there's not a lot.
Because that's
the
move
of that move up.
That's the rate lock.
Correct. That's where the rate lock I think really comes into effect.
That's where that two they bought for $250 6 years ago.
Correct.
When they're looking to go to $500, it's a massive
jump
in payment. That's just
and
tough.
I think you're
exactly
exactly right.
That's what I'm saying. I think they're
ready.
ready.
I think they're ready too. But a lot of people, we've had some people on the fence too that have waited. That cliche example. Assuming the prices are going to go down, or we're in some sort of bubble per se. But if you were looking at a $300,000 house in 2021, it's now a $315,000 house in 22, and now it's let's call it a $350,000-ish house now. So having that same mindset that you had in 2021, if you're still looking,
right,
you have to change it. There's no such thing as finding that house that you were looking at it for $300,000 here in 2026.
Right.
So as an outsider, if you're advising a client and they're like, "Hey, we're going to jump regardless in 2026. Like we need to have a bigger house, or family's growing, whatever." Don't you think? I think now is the perfect time.
Oh, I couldn't agree more.
Once, let's say we're calling it, and rates are going to go down, right? If you buy it and they go up, you're fine.
Timestamp this.
See, timestamp that. That's exactly
right. But don't if they go up.
But if they go up, whatever, you knew you could afford at 6%. Do you want it at 3%? Yes, but we all do, right? Yeah. But rates are going to come down at some point. Again, no guarantees on anything, but just the way everything's being talked about. So as a buyer, and I'm not in your industry, but if you wait too long, in the demand's there again, It's just going to be
timing of the year right now.
You hit it right on the head. Yeah.
There's just not a lot of good listings right now, but I think December, January, if you could find the house you want, that's when you got the most 100%. Power.
Especially depending on the weather in February too, if things slow down. But you're exactly right. We always tell buyers within reason. If you can move now, do it, because we can't forecast the future now.
Right.
No one can. Now we can talk to people like Steve, and try to forecast the best we can what rates are going to do. But if it makes sense and you find a quality house now, jump on it because generally speaking, too, those sellers are more motivated in January and February.
And I'm telling you, I mean, I just in our, because we're, one thing I do in my business is I meet with all of my homeowners customers, once a year, or at least we call them to offer a review. So that's where I'm hearing it. So I am meeting with a high volume of homeowners, and just, hey, what's new? We want to move, but the rate, blah, 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 so all that sort of stuff I'm just hearing it a lot. I think there's some demand. I
100% agree. I think it's going to be a strong year. And, but no, I think you hit it right on the head. If you can buy enough and make sense, I wouldn't wait.
Yeah. And our industry, I mean, there's hit on auto insurance just a little bit. We had, so COVID, I don't know if you remember, but all the insurance companies were doing like COVID relief credits. Like, so everyone was, kind of took a little while. Like everyone was calling like, hey, the world shut down. Like we're not driving. No one's wrecking. Why is our insurance not changed? So I forget what we gave. It was good. Everyone got a check back, right? So auto insurance companies were handing money back out during that time as a COVID relief credit. But when I explain this to people, they get it. Auto insurance rates have risen since then substantially, and I'll hit where they're heading now. But if you think about what happened in COVID, yes, there were less drivers, less accidents just during COVID. But when things went back to normal, the inflation that came with COVID, now all of a sudden that little fender bender and Quick Trip parking lot that used to be $700 to repair, it's $3,800 because of cost of labor of these mechanics, cost of the actual material. I mean, everything that went into it. Mm-hmm. So like when auto rates were going up, obviously no one likes to see that. We had a handful of angry customers, but when you looked at the numbers behind the scenes, I mean, it's all public data. The company I represent lost like $4 billion in 1 year in just auto insurance because we price our product at a 1.4. We try to like a 1.4 expense ratio, which means we're going to collect $1, but plan to pay $1.04 in claims. Auto claims is just auto right now. And the way we make money, because you're looking at that like, hey, you're pricing to lose, is we're collecting billions of dollars and investing it.
Gotcha.
So we invest that with startup companies. We invest that in the market. Yeah. That's how insurance companies.
We're getting some. This is cool. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. That's how insurance companies really make money. It's not. Okay. It's not charging you.
Worth the price of admission.
Yeah. It's not charging you more, than we plan on paying you.
If you get
claims.
$1, you can make $1.15.
Yeah. And if you make $1, even if you price at 104 and you make 106, that 2 cents on $1 at billions of dollars, a lot of money.
Wow.
So
I have some really good business ideas, Zach.
Starting. So the auto insurance, had that run up from inflation, which was really just the price to fix vehicles is what was driving it. I mean, and vehicle prices skyrocketed. So as people totaled cars,
technology,
now instead of us paying, $60,000 for that Tahoe, it's $85,000, because you totaled it out. So that was, to me, on my side, it's. I get, as a consumer, you don't always see it, but like it was very justified. Clear, like it just had to happen. On the home insurance side of things, rates have stayed super steady. Like it's been weird. In the way it's kind of been explained to me.
I don't think that's with every brokerage though.
No, it's not. It's not. And the reason being is the company I represent is the largest. And when we have catastrophic losses like we've had the past few years, and we've had record hailstorms, yes, we experience more losses, but we have other areas that didn't experience losses where we have a high volume of customers. So we don't have to take as big a rate swings. Right. Whereas if you're a smaller carrier in an area that got smacked with storms and paying a bunch of claims, you got to balance it out or you're going to go insolvent. Yeah. So for us, we've been fortunate enough not to take a lot of rate activity on home insurance products. 4 or 5% the last 2 years, less than your real estate taxes went up, from a percentage standpoint.
Perspective on it.
Which is, you got a new roof. A lot of people were paid a lot on roofs. So we'll get that call out where they're like, man, I'm surprised my rate didn't go up. I'm like, I am too, but let's roll with it.
Thank you for my roof, by the way, Zach.
But the background of it, was, if you think of it, we had like that tornado that ripped through like Bridgeton, like year over year like 2016. But since then, up until about 2020, there was one storm, and then there just wasn't a lot of storm activity up until that point. So I think at least my company kind of, saw that, hey, we see an opportunity here to grow. And I guess we're just really banking on hopefully not, more storm activity. But if you think about St. Charles County in general, a lot of people got new roofs. And, and it's going to take, golf balls, way bigger than golf balls, probably baseballs to really damage those new impact resistant shingles. So I think they're banking on, hey, even if we get quarter size hail, it's not going to do damage to these new roofs. So, but obviously that's the biggest loss, is
100%, I'm sure.
Storm related
I think
stuff.
these are some good nuggets, man. I didn't realize.
Yeah, I know, me either.
That I had, yeah.
And home insurance, I know you educate your clients a lot on things, but
this is a good.
It's something to look at.
Too.
The rates will vary all over the place, but the amount of times that we see someone paying $4,500 a year and we give them phenomenal same coverage and it's $2,000 a year. I mean, that's where if rates drop here and you bought over the last few years and you're refinancing, you're just trying to get your payment lower, right? That's why you're refinancing. You need to look into your insurance at that time too, because it can easily be another couple $100.
That's huge.
A couple weeks ago with you guys.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Yeah. I mean, that can be the difference of, people are, that can be a big difference.
Yeah. Well, I think that, I'm numb to, we talk about it all the time.
Oh, I know. Yeah. So
hopefully you guys found some good value in that. And I took some learning lessons away from a hedge fund over here.
Right. I know.
I don't think that's a proper term. It's not.
I don't think that's a proper.
I'm gonna wrap us up with this, and I'm gonna ask you guys this: what's the one thing that you want to leave viewers with, the Haus Talk viewers? What's one thing you want to leave them with? And I'm gonna leave this kind of free. I'm gonna leave this kind of open. I'm gonna share my 2026 mantra. Like, I try to pick out something that I circle and really try to drive in. You guys probably know my Be Phenomenal, Be Forgotten mantra.
Oh, yeah.
I love that. This year, I don't want to waste it. So don't waste it. And we kind of touched on this earlier with just how quickly kids grow up, right? Like, we kind of you probably, if you were a high school athlete, you had an alumni come back and tell you, guys, high school goes so fast. Don't waste it. It's going to be over before you know it. In fact, I heard it so much I was numb to it.
Sure.
I was like, dude, another guy saying the same message. College, same thing. Another guy saying the same message. Goes by fast. Well, that's life. That's marriage before kids. Mm-hmm. Don't waste it with the wife. That's your baby who's now your 8-year-old, and that's your business opportunities, or what it is that you do have the opportunity to seize. And you don't want to look back on and have wasted what an opportunity that you have in your grasp that you could have capitalized on and lived in any type of regret.
Yeah.
And so that's what I'm going to leave it with. I'm going to leave it with in 2026. Don't fucking waste it.
Yeah, I like that.
No, I love it.
You guys seen Please Say Yes, the movie It's a Wonderful Life?
Yeah. We watch it every year.
Yeah.
I don't know if
Clarence?
Yeah. So my dad, always talks about that movie and how good it is. And I've seen clips of it, but this year I watched it for the first time. It's about this guy named George. I mean, this thing's old.
Yeah, right.
Emily
Okay.
It's on every Christmas.
Emily walks in the
aware
room.
of that.
She's like, "What are you watching?" Like, it's black and white, old school. But this guy named George Bailey that grows up in this small town, kind of grows up as the popular kid,
He's a banker,
big dreams, helping everyone out along the way, and eventually takes over the small town community bank, and super small town. Things start going sideways, everyone kind of looks at this guy to kind of keep things afloat, and something goes wrong where the money's gone, people need their money, he starts kind of getting it out of his own pocket just to help people out. And then eventually, like, a big deposit's gone, and he's like, man, we're done. So he is contemplating suicide. At the end of that movie, he's at that bridge, and this guardian angel comes to him and just replays his whole life, on
if he weren't there.
Hey, this guy's life would have ended this way because of all these people he helped out along the way. And it's just super powerful, the impact that we all deal with, with our clients, with our customers every day. The sort of impacts we can have on our team's life. I think that's the one thing I'd say is just know everything you do matters, and you're impacting people's lives. And don't beat yourself up too much on it either, when things aren't going good. So
how the fuck do I follow that? That was legit. That was good. All right.
You got to watch It's Wonderful.
I'm gonna watch it in my prone position. Yeah. So I have no excuse not to. Man, no, those were good, guys. But my biggest thing is going to be cliche. It's just being present again. I mean, and finding just like being content where you are to a certain extent, whether it's an injury, whether it's whatever it is, just being okay with where you're at, knowing you have goals, knowing you have everything, set up, and knowing that you want to do other things, but just enjoying life as it is currently. Like in this moment, like I'm enjoying this, being ultra present. It's something I've always tried to work on. It's something I've thought I was doing good at, honestly, but I feel like I haven't. I'm always just kind of thinking about, I look at Leo and Jovi, my kids right now, and I'm like, oh shit, they're going to be driving before too long, just thinking too far in the future, but just being ultra present, enjoying my friends how they are now, my family how they are now, knowing things will change, but knowing that you're never going to get this moment in time right now back. Whether it's good or bad, just, learn from it and be in it. Just be ultra present. That's what it is.
That's Haus Talk. Appreciate you guys coming on.
Let's crush this 30 medium, boys.
Yeah, 30 medium.
Last day of 2025 with the crew here.
Yeah.
Rolling into 30 medium in less than 24 hours.
Yeah.
All right. Going to the bar?
Thanks for having us, man.